For WLCSports.com, this is Adam Heinzen, joined with seventh-year head baseball coach Dave Reineman as we preview the 2015 Warriors baseball season. Coach, your team finished 20-19 a year ago, back-to-back 20-win seasons for the first time in program history, 8-12 in the NACC. You ended the year with 4 straight wins. How has that momentum carried over to 2015?
Well, you're right. We did finish with the 4 straight wins. Prior to that, we had scuffled a little bit, and in the NAC, we didn't get the results that we wanted. So giving credit to the guys. They were able to rebound from that, put together some nice come-from-behind wins in some non-conference games, and to have a nice win against UW-Milwaukee to end the season. So carrying that in, the guys know that they can be a good team, and seeing that, those results is really just a good positive vibe to start this season.
You graduated 3 seniors last year, including all-region performer and second baseman and pitcher Garrick Day, but you returned 12 seniors, which is by far the largest group this program has ever seen. Can you talk about not only the quantity but the quality, what that group as a whole means to you when it comes to practice, games, and just everything? What does that large group of seniors mean to the program? It
really is hard to put into words. They are a great group of young men, definitely talented group. They should go down as the winningest group of the winningest class in program history. So on the field, many of these guys will be in their 3rd year as starters. And then also off the field, in practice sessions and what they bring to the program. For instance, I think of an Evan Teske, who's a guy that his leadership, not on the field as much, but off the field in practices, we get so much out of that just helps us and helps our younger guys and helps our program be what we want to be.
Let's begin to go around the diamond, Coach. Defensively, anchored by your pitching staff. Talk a little bit about the starting pitching and who's returning to start some games on the mound this year for the Warriors.
Yeah, I'll start with 2 of the seniors that we had just, talking about that senior class. Heading off, we have Jamie Powman. We're definitely expecting big things from Jamie this year. Jamie knows who he is as a pitcher, attacks the strike zone, and really can help us win. And then Joe Hodkwitz, another senior that understands who he is and how he can win and help us win as a team. Then also, there's some fighting for spots on that mound. We have a couple of left-handed sophomores, and Aaron Kiewig and Travis Stahulik. Both have good live arms and good stuff. And then also we have newcomer Brock Vredeveld, who's working for a starting spot, and also Brandon Mance, one of our position players that will get some starts for us as well.
Definitely a lot of innings coming back in the starting rotation. How about the bullpen? Who are some of the guys that are going to anchor that relief pitching?
Well, right at the top of the list, one guy that I think of is Andrew Iverson, another senior, a guy that we know we're going to get good quality innings from him. And Andrew's a guy that we trust. At times he'll be a closing some games for us, oftentimes bridging the gap between the starter and our closer. Also in the bullpen, a couple of guys that I mentioned for possibly starters, we have Brock Vredeveld will definitely get some innings in there, and Brandon Mance. We have Noah Schriefer, a sophomore, who really had an excellent offseason, who's ready to step up and give us some good quality innings. And also another guy that can really help us be a better team, and that's Sam Mathai. Sam has the best arm on our team and has gone through some ardent trouble the last couple of years. But if Sam is able to come in and close some games for us, we're that much better of a team.
Can you talk about their battery mates then, the catchers? Who do you see filling out the time behind the plate in those doubleheaders as you get through the season?
Again, the majority of the innings will go to 2 seniors, and Corbin Biersack. Corbin, a guy that really calls a good game behind the plate. The pitchers really like throwing to Corbin. And then Brett Youngbeck. Brett is a guy who came in out of high school as a high school catcher, a good athlete, played multiple positions, was an all-conference outfielder, but Brett's going to be moving behind the plate and getting many innings for us there.
Then your infielders, a very senior-laden group as well, right there at second base. You lost Garrick, as mentioned before, but you return everyone else around the diamond. Can you talk about, go around the infield and talk about who's going to be anchoring some of the positions and competing for time around the infield?
Sure. We'll start at first base. At first base, we have two returners, and Jake Garolo, a sophomore, and Matt Wick, a junior. Both have good live bats, and both have worked very hard on their defense. At second base, you had mentioned losing Garrick, but we have Josiah Boucher, a sophomore stepping in for us, and Josiah is a solid player, a guy that's going to make the routine play, that's going to give us a tough quality at bat. At third base, we have Brandon Mance. We'll be returning there. Brandon's a solid fielder. And at shortstop, Aaron Raisler, who definitely anchors our defense in the infield, makes that good, solid play, and can also make the spectacular play from time to time.
Then moving on to the outfield, another trio of seniors that look to vie for most of the time out there.
Yes, and starting in left field, we have Zach Skog. Zach, again, a solid outfielder. Offensively, a guy that has a good, solid approach at the plate. We do have sophomore Ryan Stansel that brings a good bat into the lineup. Ryan will get definitely some playing time in left field as well. In center field, we have Connor Vredeveld, who I believe is one of the best defensive center fielders that we see. Connor really just makes some plays that kind of make some people scratch their heads, but now being able to see it for the past several years, you kind of come to expect that from Connor. And then in right field, we have Sam Mathice. Sam, again, another really good athlete, came in as a shortstop for us, but he's really found a home in the outfield, does a good job defensively.
Should be fun to watch the senior-laden Warriors all over the diamond this year. Moving on to the offense, your team has stolen over 100 bases each of the past two seasons. Obviously looking to keep that going and keep that aggressive approach on the base paths.
Definitely. That's who we are. And we are an aggressive team. We like to be fearless on the base paths, and Coach Schmidt does a great job instilling that in our players. We do have a couple of guys at the top of our lineup that we expect to have 20-plus stolen bases, a number of other guys in double digits, and even some of the guys that maybe aren't the fleetest of foot can still get 5 to 6 stolen bases, and probably just as importantly, and I'd say maybe even more importantly, take that extra base, keep the pressure on the defense.
And you touched on it. Coach, you want to talk a little bit about how the lineup might play out on opening day?
Sure. Looking at some of the guys at the top of our lineup, we have Connor Vredeveld, who definitely is one of those guys that we're looking for a number of stolen bases from, a high on-base percentage. We have Aaron Raisler, a guy that can move runners, a guy that can get bunts down, a high batting average type of player. In the middle of the lineup, we have Sam Mathice, Brett Youngbeck, Brandon Mance, 3 seniors that we expect to really kind of drive in runs, to be some of our main production. Zach Skog, who I mentioned, gives us good quality at bats, along with our first baseman. You throw Ryan Stansel in there, some guys that can drive in some runs. And then guys that will be at the bottom of our order, again, guys that we expect to be tough outs and be able to move runners over.
Coach, your team begins its season a week from yesterday in Fort Myers, Florida, the 5th straight year at the Gene Cusick Collegiate Classic. Obviously, besides the weather, you got to be looking forward to the trip and seeing what your team can do down in Florida, where you play 9 games in 6 days.
We are excited. We have a good test starting off with Haverford, a very solid team. We also have Gettysburg that we'll be playing again. They've kind of become a pretty common opponent for us down there. But it's good. Some of those teams at the top that really test you, and that's what you want from a non-conference schedule, especially early, to have some of your weaknesses exposed, to see what areas you need to work on. And our guys are excited about the test and just getting out there and playing.
And then when your team returns from Florida, can you touch on the rest of the non-conference schedule before we dive into the NAC schedule that some of the other non-conference teams that you'll see?
Sure. We start out with Beloit, and again, a team that's been on our schedule, I think, near every year since we've been here as a coaching staff. We enjoy that challenge. We have also in the non-conference, we have North Central Illinois, a quality opponent. We, again, are playing Carroll. We have Ripon, who are excited to have a home-and-home against Ripon, a good quality program. So we're looking forward to that challenge. And then we have UW-Milwaukee again. Our guys were able to get that win last year. We're thankful to Coach Duffick for getting us on the schedule again this year as other years. And that game's always a good test. We go in with nothing to lose, but really to help us get better.
And then the NAC schedule, Coach. 6 teams out of the 11 make the conference tournament. Your team finished just 2 games shy of that tourney last year, but with a senior-laden group this year, definitely looking to get back into that tournament. But a grueling schedule when you're playing 36 innings in one weekend in 2 days, not to factor in the weather changes.
It is, and that's a good word for it. Definitely is grueling. You know, as you mentioned, it'll be a Saturday doubleheader, a Sunday doubleheader, and very likely, some weeks, a Monday doubleheader, possibly a Tuesday doubleheader. And it is, you know, the coach's cliche, one game at a time, one opponent at a time. But it would be ridiculous to approach our conference season any other way. There are, you know, we would say, on paper, you'd say 9 legitimate teams that, you know, are fighting for those conference spots and really solid all the way through. You cannot take a day off or you will get beat in our conference. So you have to be ready to play. You know, definitely you have your 4 conference starters that you like, but depth of starting pitching and bullpen comes into play as well.
And Coach, we couldn't conduct this interview with how excited you and the program's got to be for what's taking place out at Newman Family Field right now. A lot of construction underway. Despite the dead of winter, there's a lot happening out there. You got to be excited about that.
We really are. And you know, we're happy as a coaching staff to have this opportunity for our seniors, that they get to play in the facility for their final season, and for the younger guys in the program that this can be a part of Warriors baseball. And really be remiss if I wouldn't thank just a few people. Coach Noon for his persistence in getting this project done, President Johnson, also our board who's been very supportive, and the people in our development office that definitely have worked hard and I'd say tirelessly to help this project become a reality. So we're definitely excited for our team and for Warriors student athletes moving forward into the future.
Definitely going to make for a fun baseball environment out there at Newman Family Baseball Field. Coach, thanks for your time today. Best of luck next week in Florida and the rest of the way.
All right. Thanks, Adam.
Fans can follow the Warriors in Fort Myers and all season long by clicking on the baseball page on WLCSports.com.